Hi, this is Nancy with MSCR, and this is chair exercise. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make sure that we move all of our joints. We're going to get some of those muscles moving, and then we're going to spend some extra time on stretching today, something that's very important for our range of movement. A couple of things also to keep in mind is for those of you that have arthritis in a specific part of the body, whether it's your knees or your cervical spine or your hands, make sure that you're keeping your repetitions a little bit lower, maybe about 5 repetitions of each exercise. For example, a biceps curl. Just do about 5 of those if you have any problems holding on or pain holding on to the weights. And then the other thing is with exercise, we always want to be aware of how we're feeling before, during, and after exercise. So paying attention to how you feel now, partway through exercise, when we're done, and then also 2 hours after exercise. If you're feeling any type of pain 2 hours after exercise, that means you're going to want to kind of back off of those areas that you're feeling that pain in and take it a little bit easier on those for next time. So for today, we're going to start good postural position. Everybody's neutral good posture position is a little bit different. So you want to feel like you're not putting a lot of effort into it, but yet you're feeling strong and sturdy. With your hands on your lap, just take some nice deep breaths in and out. And again, just feeling how your body's feeling, whether it's your back, your neck, your hands. Filling up your lungs with air all the way to the bottom. Take that long, slow exhale out. And you can even do this many, many times throughout the day. Already feeling better. All right, starting to move the joints, let's go down to the bottom of the body first. We're going to start with the ankle, and we're just going to point and flex the foot at the ankle joint. And then take it side to side like a windshield wiper. Now with the ankle, make a full circle around without moving the leg. So feeling that full range of movement through the ankle joint. And then we'll switch directions, circling it the opposite way. You might feel some cracks, some crunches, some stiffness in spots, but it's good to get that fluid moving through the ankle joint. We'll tuck that foot back under. And we'll take the other foot out, again, starting with the point and flex. And then side to side, the windshield wiper. And a circle all the way around. And you might notice that one side might be easier than the other. Let's reverse that circle. Might have some more stiffness in a certain joint. Good, let's pull that foot back in. Going back to the first side, we'll just straighten and bend at the knee. So here's where a lot of us, especially as we get older, we might get some crunches and cracks and pops and cracks going on. Good, we'll go both sides, so switching to the other side, just straighten and bend. Good, we'll take one more. And then let's move up. Continuing into the hips. So I'm going to have you scoot up toward the front of the chair. Again, make sure you keep that good posture. And we'll just take that step out and step in. So getting that movement through the hip. All the way out, all the way in. Good. We'll take one more. And then again, switching sides, step out, step in. Last one here. And now reset the posture in case you started to kind of lean back a little bit. Now, speaking of leaning, keeping your hands on your lap at first. Let's lean forward about 45 degrees, so not too far. And then we're just going to sit right back up to that good seated posture. Leaning forward and up. Now, if you want, you can take your hands across the chest. Use this leaning forward without the support of your hands. So getting that movement through your low back, keeping the spine nice and long. Good, we'll just take one more here. And then let's go side to side, kind of rotating side to side. Moving the shoulders side to side. Bringing it back to, again, neutral, arms to your side, lean side to side. Making sure, again, both hips are going to stay on the chair, feeling a stretch on the side of your torso. All right, one more each side. And then we'll take the shoulders, moving up the body, rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. Kind of like your ankles, you might get a lot of cracks and crunches in here, a little stiffness. And then with the shoulders, we're just going to take them up and down, squeezing up by the ears, and then press the shoulders down as far as you can. All the way up, all the way down. And then let's do the same thing, pulling your shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades toward the spine, and then relaxing. Pull the shoulders back and relax. Make sure you are not arching your low back. We're just working on the upper spine right now. It's those muscles that are pulling you up into that good posture, shoulders back. One more time. Good, and then let's just work on our hands next. Opening and closing your hands. Spreading your fingers wide. And then with a light fist, let's take our wrists around in a circle. Very similar to the ankles, circling around through the wrists. Of course, we'll go both ways, switching directions. Good, taking the hands back down. And then let's move it in the neck joint next, looking one side to the other. Make sure you come back to that neutral position right in the center. Each time, going side to side. Next time we're back at neutral, let's hold it here. And we're going to take the ear down to the shoulder. Come back to center. And then drop down to your other side. So again, just working through each of the joints in the body. One more each side. And then the last one for the neck, I'm going to take your nose. Actually, you're going to take your nose and pull it backwards and tuck your chin down. Come back up to neutral. Pull the nose back, tuck the chin. One more of those. All right, now let's just take both arms back. Really reach your arms back, opening up through the front of your chest and shoulders. And then bring your arms around, give yourself a nice big hug, walking your fingertips back on your shoulders. We're still just getting the joints warmed up, the body moving. Good. We'll take this back just one more time. Back and giving yourself a hug. Nice. Now, sitting up tall, let's take some of those big breaths in and out again. And just noticing if anything feels different from when we first started, before we got things moving. Does it feel easier to breathe? Does it feel like you have more room up in kind of this top part of the chest? Does the back feel less stiff? All right, we are going to move on to some seated strength exercises. And I'm going to give you guys lots of different options. So first of all, if you have hand weights, your dumbbells, you can use these. So if you've got them at home, great. If not, you can use some cans. So whether it's soup, I've got spaghetti sauce here, so you can use these. You can use some cans. The other thing you can use is a towel. So go ahead, you can pause the video, go get the equipment that you need, whether it's 2 dumbbells, 2 different types of cans, or water bottles work too, or a towel, kind of a skinnier, longer towel. All right, so go get those, come on back, and then we're going to start our strength exercises. So the first one we're going to do is a biceps curl. So I'm going to have you do about 10 repetitions. And again, if this is something that is going to affect your joints, if you've got arthritis, whether it's in the wrists, the hands, the elbows, the shoulders, then you're only going to want to keep your repetitions to about 5. So to do these with your towel, you're going to hold on to your towel kind of on the bottom, place the towel under your feet, and you're going to use your foot to push away as you bring your thumbs up to your shoulders. So this is your towel biceps curl. Of course, if you've got hands or if you've got dumbbells, we're going to do the same thing, bringing thumbs up to the shoulders. We're going to do what's called a hammer curl. So bringing both thumbs up to the shoulders, so we're not moving the wrist at all. The wrist is staying in that neutral position. And let's get about 10 repetitions in here. Working the biceps, the muscles that help us to pick things up. Nice. Very nice. All right, we're going to give our arms a little bit of a shake out here. We're going to do a pushing exercise. So we're going to go to the other side and work our triceps. So using either your cans or your dumbbells, I'm going to have you lean forward. We're going to do our triceps kickback. We want to keep the elbows up, long spine, and we're bending and straightening the elbow. I'll show you from the side it looks like this. So elbows up, straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Squeezing through the triceps on the way up. All right, and again, let's get about 10 repetitions in there for the other side of the upper arm. And then we'll give those arms a nice shake out. All right, our next exercise is going to be the row. We're going to be working on the back muscles. So with our seated row, we're going to be in that leaning over position so we can work the back muscles about 45 degrees. And you can either keep your wrists in a neutral position, pulling the weights up toward your hips, all the way down, all the way up. You can have palms facing forward, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then with the towel, if you've got a towel, you're going to place that towel under one of the feet, leaning over, and you are going to pull up. Use your foot to push away as you pull. So leaning forward a little bit, pull. Use your foot, push away the towel as you try to pull it up, using a towel and your foot as resistance. So pull those up again, getting those repetitions in, working now on the back muscles. And once you're done with those, give the shoulders a roll back. So now we've gotten our biceps, our triceps, and our back. We're going to work a little more on the shoulders next. So we're going to do an overhead press. I'm going to grab my spaghetti sauce cans this time. So whether you've got your dumbbells or you've got your soup cans, we're going to keep the wrists in that neutral position again. So palms facing in, starting at the shoulders. And we're going to take these cans and we're going to push them up one at a time. We're going to go just about 5 on each side. Pushing up, 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 up. Good, bring them down, again, rolling the shoulders. Now, let's work on the outside of the shoulder. This is going to be your lateral raise, so the lateral shoulder. So, 2 options on this one. You can keep palms down and just lifting those cans out to the side, lifting just to shoulder height. If that has any pain in the elbow or the wrist, you guys are going to have your thumbs up, palms facing forward. So again, keeping that wrist in a neutral position. The other thing you can do if the weights are too heavy, or again, a little bit of pressure on the wrists and elbows, you can keep your elbows bent at 90 degrees and make sure you take those elbows and the cans outside of your body. Because if I'm just moving my elbows up and down, I'm not moving my weights anywhere. So weights up, weights in. Good, working that lateral shoulder. Giving the shoulders a roll backwards. Let's make sure we're sitting up nice and tall. Let's get the front of the shoulder. So with your arms straight, we're just going to do alternating sides, right and left. Keep the palms facing in toward each other. lifting again just to shoulder height. About 5 on each side. You can do more. It is up to you, but let's get at least 5 on each side. Now, after you're finished with that, we're going to keep our weights right where they're at. We're going to do some weighted side bends, side to side, one side to the other. And making sure we, again, keep both hips down on the chair. Don't let the hips pull off. Your sit bones are on the chair. So we've got some resistance working on the muscles there in the side of your torso. Good, we'll come back to neutral. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put our weights or our cans together, keeping your elbows in here. And we're just going to twist side to side. Make sure your shoulders are moving side to side, not just the weights. We need to have that whole torso turn one side or the other. Let's get a couple more in on each side. Good, and then we are done with these for now. So let's place those back underneath, out of the way. Put my towel under my chair and my weights. All right, so we've done some upper body strengthening. We're going to be standing up next to do some more hip, some more leg work. So I'm going to have you take your feet just a little bit wider apart. You can use your hands if you need help to stand up. There we go. So let's go behind the chair. That way we have the chair in front of us for some support. You can either hold on to your chair or take your hands to your hips. I want you to take your hips around like you're doing the hula hoop. So now we're getting a lot of movement through the hips, through the low back. We're going to go about 5 times in each direction. So let's go ahead and switch, circling around the other way. Keep those feet flat on the floor. Good, let's bring those hips right back to the center. I'm going to come over to the side here. Have you come to the side, continuing on with the hips. So what we're going to do is do a full leg circle. So I'm just going to have you make a big circle toward the side here. This moving leg stays straight. Standing knee always has a slight bend. Got good posture happening. Again, about 5 times in each direction. So let's go the opposite way. And then we'll bring that leg back into that neutral position. Next, let's get the quadriceps. So that is the top front of the leg. So for these, we'll do our leg extensions, which means lifting your knee up and then extend, bring it back and down. Lift, extend, back and down. Good, again, standing knee needs just a little bit of a bend to support your body weight. Up, extend, back. We'll do one more time. Up, out, back, and down. Now the opposite side is the hamstring, and we're just going to do our hamstring curl here. So if I'm turning to the side, you can see just lifting that heel, keeping the knee pointed down toward the floor. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Good. One more time. All right. Turn back here toward the front. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to step back with this outside leg. So here, we're going to work on one of these nice long stretches. So this is your hip flexor, the muscle in the front of your hip and your calf muscle. We're going to start here. So all I want you to do is just hold this stretch. You want to feel it in the front of your hip. If you're not feeling it a lot there, you can always take a bigger step back. You can bend your front knee some more. Another option for you is you can place one foot up on your chair and just kind of lean forward into your chair. So that way you might have a little bit bigger stretch in the front of that hip. So again, just holding this stretch. When we do our stretches, you want to hold at least 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, because that muscle doesn't want to stretch at first. It's kind of fighting. After about 15 seconds or so, that muscle understands that you want it to stretch. And then we'll release that stretch. Go ahead and take those hips around a couple hula hoops each way. Since we are standing on one leg, let's come behind, or let's go to the other side. Let's do the other side first. All right, we're going to do those hips. So we're going to take that opposite leg on the outside, take it around 5 times, circling, working through the hip joint. And after 5, we're going to switch directions. Good, and then we'll get the quadriceps, which is the lift, extend, back, and down. This one can also be seated. So if you want to sit on your chair, same thing, lift your knee up, extend, back, and down. We'll go about 5 repetitions. So we'll do one more. And then the hamstring. So this is where we just lift the heel, bending the knee from the side. Remember to keep the knee down. As soon as that knee starts coming up, we're getting the quadriceps again. So just lifting the heel up, almost like you're trying to give yourself a kick. Lifting. If you have ankle weights, any of these standing exercises can be done with an ankle weight on. One more time for our hamstrings. All right. Coming back, let's take that, again, outside leg is going to go back into that hip flexor and calf stretch. This time, it's always that leg that's stepping back. That's the one we're feeling the stretch in. Just take some nice, slower, deeper breaths. Just starting to let that muscle relax, to open up, to stretch. And again, if you don't feel the stretch, you can always step back farther, bend the front knee. You can always maybe lean back a little bit, or place that foot up on the chair and then lean into the chair. Some people feel the stretch a lot more this way. Again, we're just going to hold here, minimum 30 seconds. Letting the muscle open, relax. Let's take one more nice big deep breath in and out. Good, we'll release out of the stretch. And we'll hula hoop the hips around. Switch it. Good. Let's do some squats behind the chair. So I'm going to have you step back from the chair, but maybe fingertips on the chair. That'll help keep the upper body up. And we want the feet about chair width apart, maybe a little wider. And we're going to pretend that there's a little tiny chair behind us, trying to sit down on that chair and stand back up. Good. Squatting down and up. Now we want to keep most of the weight that you feel, the pressure in your heels. You don't even need to use your toes. Just sitting back and up. So this is our sitting down, standing up movement. One that we use all the time. We'll get a few more of our squats in. Very good. All right, now let's go find a wall. Hopefully everybody has a wall at their home. We're going to do push-ups. So we're doing our push-ups against the wall. Push-ups against the wall, you want your hands out from your shoulders. So we don't want them up by the head. If your hands are up by your head against the wall, move them down, and we're taking elbows out to the side. So we're doing our push-ups. Let's try to do anywhere between 5 and 10 push-ups against the wall. These ones you can do at any time. Push-ups we should be doing every day. Good, keep getting those repetitions. And anywhere between 5 and 10 push-ups. You can do these against a counter as well, or up maybe on the second or third step of your stairs, feet on the bottom. And then after your push-ups, let's come back to the chair. We're going to do our chair plank position next. So I'm going to turn my chair to the side. So what I want you to do is just have your hands on your chair, and you're going to step back, good size step back. And then you want to make yourself into a straight line. So you've got a straight line, top of the head, back of the shoulders, hips and heels. And you're going to feel that tension in your tummy. And then we're going to take a step forward and just relax and breathe. Now, there is an option to do this on a lower surface, like on your chair, or you can do these, of course, on the ground. But let's do another one here. Again, step back, move the hips forward, make yourself into a straight line, and hold. Make sure you are breathing. And you're going to feel that tension in the abdominal muscles in the tummy. And then let's take a step forward, relax just a second. We're going to go through these one more time. Step back, maybe a little back a little farther. And then again, that nice straight line, hold, breathe, and step forward. Wonderful. While we're standing, we'll do one more thing. We're going to do some balance here. And today, let's get into that heel-toe stance. So it's one foot directly in front of the other. And if balance is very challenging for you, you're going to have your feet a little bit wider apart. But I want them in the same line. So if I'm on a line, both of my feet are on that line. You can use your chair if you need some help, but only a finger or two. I don't want you to hold on to that chair because your brain is good with just a finger or two here, as long as it's got some security. If you don't need your chair, let's take the hands across the chest. And what I want you to notice is, what are your feet doing? How do they feel? They're doing a lot of work right now, holding you up. Make sure you've got weight back in your heels, not just all up in the toes. Good, strong posture, but a little bend through the knees, your shock absorber. Now, try this. Take your back foot and place it as your front foot. So just take a little step forward. Good again. Make sure you've got that weight through the heels, a little bend through the knees, and good posture. Very nice. Arms down. We are back on the chair. So if you've got a water bottle, need a drink of water, make sure you get a sip of that at any time, especially after we're done. Let's do a few more things here to get kind of some movements. Let's take the feet wider apart. We're going to stir the pot. So I want you to pretend you've got a big pot of soup in front of you, pot of chili, whatever you are making. And you're going to stir it, and you're going to lean forward. It's really, it's the biggest pot you've ever stirred. You're going to have the other hand on your leg for support, but just leaning forward to stir the pot. Leaning up and around. Good. Let's bring it back to center. Let's do the other arm because we're going to have to stir it the other way. If you can, keep both hips down on the chair. Reach to the side, front, and side, and around. And one more stir around. All right, let's bring those feet in. Next, we're going to hold another one of these wonderful stretches, and it's called the figure four. So this is a stretch for your hips. Now, what I want you to do is, if you can, you're going to bring this foot up on the opposite knee. If you can't get the foot up to the opposite knee, you're going to cross your legs as far as you can. You want to feel the stretch in the hip. So if you can get that leg crossed, you're going to feel the stretch here. Now, some of you are like, that's plenty of a stretch for me. I'm just going to hold it here. Some of you are like, okay, I feel it, but I can go a little bit deeper. So for those of you who want a little deeper stretch, a couple of things you can do. You can push your knee toward the floor. You can lean forward. Or the other thing you can do is you can take that foot that's on the ground and just lift the heel up. So you're bringing the knee up a little farther. Or you can do a combination of any of these. Now, slow, deep breathing and relax. This is one of the more intense stretches. So see if you can just kind of slow down the breathing. Relax your shoulders, your hands, especially this leg that's on top. You want to make sure we can get that leg to stretch. 30 to 60 seconds. Now we're going to slowly release this stretch. Place both feet back down and just windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Good. Let's find that good posture. Now we get to do the other side. So again, crossing up as high as you can get that foot to go. Wherever you feel that stretch in your hip. The other thing you can do is play around with positioning here. Moving that foot toward the leg that's on the ground. So same options here. Pushing your knee toward the floor. Leaning forward and or lifting the heel of the foot that's on the ground. Relax shoulders, hands. This leg that's on top. We're going to go about 15 more seconds. You may hold longer if you wish. That's the great thing about these videos, is you can pause them, you can hold the stretch another 30 to 60 seconds. And slowly release out. Both feet on the ground, rocking the knees back and forth. Good. 2 more stretches we're going to do. We're going to do a little twist here. So I'm going to have you take both hands to one side of the leg, on the outside of the leg, and you're going to look over that shoulder, and we're going to hold here. Good posture is essential here. Keep looking over your shoulder, and if you would like a deeper twist, you're going to take your hands and push against the outside of the leg. Breathe, again, that big, deep, slow breathing helps the body to relax and the muscles to relax. 30 to 60 seconds. And then we'll come back to the center. Just roll your shoulders back. And then let's do the other side. Both hands to the outside of the leg, looking over the shoulder. These long stretches also help to end our exercise session with our heart rate back down a little bit. Got about 10 more seconds on this side, minimally. And let's look back around to the front, unwind, roll the shoulders. One last stretch for you today. I want you to scoot up in the front of the chair. You're going to lean back against your chair, and you're going to take both arms out to the side. And just let gravity stretch your biceps in the front of the chest and shoulders. One of our easier stretches. You really don't have to do anything but sit here and let gravity do the work for you. And holding this as long as you feel a good stretch coming across the front of the chest and shoulders and biceps. And then take your arms down. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Last thing we're going to do is our wrist circles. Taking your index fingers, bending at the wrists. So your index fingers are making figure 8s or infinity symbols. Kind of like you're conducting the orchestra. Switching directions. Palms start facing you, pinky fingers rolling in toward you. Good, we'll bring the hands back to the lap. Last 2 big, slow, deep breaths in. And again, notice, how does the back, collarbone, shoulders, neck, how does all that feel now that we've been moving around? All right, MSCR chair exercise. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.